holding is Gimel. We got until we did a Dam Rabbi Yochanan. Kol mitzvah shech v'zel v'tal chai mitzvah shtem b'yer bein Hashem asher asa v'yamas kames rav to Rabbi Yitzchak. It's the second line up from the wide lines. Rabbi Yitzchak v'Rabbi Amri. I believe they're Eretz Yisrael. It says Rabbi by both of them, right? Rabbi Yitzchak and Rabbi Amri. I know where Rabbi Amri. Oh, they're right there on the top. So we just had from Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan says that this is Chayav Nisa, someone that wastes seed, and Rabbi Ami and Rabbi Yitzchak say now Keilu Sheifach Dam, as if they're committing murder. They're right under Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Ami and Rabbi Yitzchak.
Aren't committing murder?
Yeah. So what's the reason for Rabbi Yochanan? Maybe this may be an explanation. That's interesting. Shenemar, as it says in the pasuk, Hanechamim be'elim, they warm themselves with elim trees, tachas kol ranan, under leafy trees. Sheichte hayeladim benechalim, they slay children by streams, tachas ifei aslayim, under the clefts in the rock. And when it says they slay children, it says al tichkei sheichte ela seichte. Seichte with the sama is like squeezing out, like schita. So this is referring to wasting seed, which is called over here slaughtering. That's what they mean, that it's sheifach damim. Okay, Rabasi. Usually Rabami and Rabasi go together. Rabasi amakilu oived avedis kechavim. So we have over here shvichas damim and avedis kechavim. The only thing left is avedis zara. Ksiv hachetachas kol ranan. Over here it says that they warm themselves by the trees under all the leafy trees. Under the ranan means like it has moisture. Ksiv hasam, but it says by avedis zara. No, this is it. This is Avodah Zarah. The only thing left is Gilei Arayos. But Gilei Arayos, I guess, was there naturally.
It's inherent in the act.
Inherent. So maybe Rabbi Yochanan means the Gilei Arayos, because he didn't say what it is. And Rabbi Yitzchak and Rabbi Ami say Shvichas Damim. And Rabbi Asi says Avodah Zarah. Ksiv Hasam Alaharim Haramim B'Tachas Kol Yitzrana, talking about when you come into the land and they have those Avodah Zaros that they should destroy. Okay, Rav Yehuda v'Shmuel, we're in Bavel now, and we have Rav Yehuda, who's a student of Shmuel, Yehuda and Shmuel, and they are Habikaimia Igra de Beit Knishta, the Shafi Yasef ben Ardai. They're in the Beit Knishta, that means the shul, the gathering place of Shafi Yasef in the city of Nardai. So Shmuel is still alive, and Nardai is still there. And Rabbi Yehuda is by Shmuel. This is after he's by Rav. And Shafi Yasef was this very holy place that they moved the stones from the Bais of Mikdash. When they came into Galus, they took stones from the Bais of Mikdash and they built it into the shul.
Oh wow!
So
is that a fact?
I don't know.
Is that recorded?
I think that's what the shop means. I think move.
That they took stones from the Bais of Mikdash
and they built it into the shul.
To the shul. Wow.
Amar lei Rabbi Yehuda l'Shmuel. Rabbi Yehuda says to Shmuel, Tzarchani lahashtin. I have to use the bathroom. And he's on top of the roof. All right. So Amar lei, he says to him, Shinana. Anyone remember what Shinana is? Sharp one. But we had a comment that said that it meant buck teeth. He would call him by his teeth size. Shinana, like a little chain. He had a comment. It's a Shita Mekubetzis that says that in Chagiga. So he says, Shinana, referring to Rabbi Yehuda. Achayz b'mascha v'hashtin l'chutz. Grab onto your bris milah and urinate over the side of the wall. So, in other words, he's concerned that he shouldn't get the stones of the shul dirty. The Gemara now asks, "Hey, chayavid, but how should he be allowed to do it?" V'hatanya, started in a brisa that we learned yesterday. Rabbi Eliezer, who's Rabbi Eliezer ben Hurkan Esaimer, kaloiches b'amasi mastin kilomevi ma'baloilam. It's as if he causes the flood by Noach. It's very serious. And now Shmuel is telling Rabbi Yehuda to do that. Amar Abaya Kabelashas. Abaya says that he was like there was a invading army. And when there's an invading army, so a person doesn't have any thoughts of any sinful thoughts, so it's going to be perfectly fine for him to do that. The Tanan, start in the Mishnah. If this army, what's the word they use for Belashas?
Marauders. Oh my God, marauders. It's like almost supposed to be this close.
Oh, yeah.
Must be the next page. No. We have to go further. Yeah, we quoted Rabbi Eliezer, but we quote him again. So. Quote him again. Belashas, they say. What is that? Troop of marauders. What is marauders? Invaders?
But more like a Marco Polo guy.
More like Hell's Angels.
Oh, yeah.
Biking.
Yeah. Bad guys coming in to do trouble.
And everyone goes undercover.
The mass marauders.
So this army comes in. So b'shas shalom, if it's a time of peace, it means that they're not really coming to kill. So chavias psuches asuris, bottles of wine that are uncorked, that are open. So those are usher to drink from, because could be it was poured. They poured it for idolatry. But stumais, if they're sealed, then mutaris. Then it's assumed that they didn't open them up and reseal them. But b'shas milchama, but if it's a time of war, then eila mutaris, and everything is mutter. Why? Because they wouldn't have time to pour it. The concern is not the people of the city. The concern is, I think, the army that's coming in, and they're so busy with what they're doing, so they wouldn't have poured Avodah Zarah. Or maybe not.
No, I think it's
the people of the city. Must be the people of the city.
They're scared of the soldiers.
Right, because we're trying to bring out the scared part.
Right.
It must be the people of the city. So Alma, we see from this that kivan de beisi layasi lenasuche, since they're afraid, or they're not afraid, they're terrified. So they're not going to pour for yayin nesach, for idolatry. So achanam kivan de beisi layasi. Also here, since Rabbi Yehuda is afraid, so it's not going to come to any improper thoughts. The Gemara asks, but what fear does Rabbi Yehuda have? So we're going to go through 4 fears, maybe 5. Iba Yisema, one possible fear is Beatusa Delilah, Budi Igra. Well, it is at night, and he's also on the roof. And you have to remember, they did not have street lights, and they only had the lights from the moon and the stars. It's not a lot of light. He's at the edge of the roof, and he doesn't want to get the rocks.
And he doesn't want to fall off.
He doesn't want to fall off.
And it was Rosh Chodesh.
Maybe it's Rosh Chodesh to make it worse. How could we figure that out? I don't know. That's the first fear. Rabbi. Second fear. Maybe he has fear of his teacher, which is Shmuel. Maybe he has fear of the shul. the shul is
He hasn't
the
paid his
shechina
dues.
that's there. Yeah, I don't know if it's his membership. It was because of the this was a very holy shul.
That would have been a fun one. Bring
Wait,
the
you're
shul.
saying the shul here in English, they're just saying Shechina.
No, the Rashi says shul.
The shechina that's it that dwells in the shul.
Dwells in the shul.
Woo.
That could be a cool
Sorry,
shul.
Rabbi Yisema, Eimsa de Marialeh. He has the fear of his master, which means Hashem. In other words, doesn't have to do with being in the holy place. This is the way Rabbi Yehuda always was. The Kari Shmuel aleh inze yuladisha, because Shmuel said about him to Gazant that this is not a child of
It's not a standard.
this is not what's the term that he uses?
This is an octopus.
This is not born of a woman. He's like an angel. Okay. 4 fears. Some say that he was married.
That's probably the greatest.
That's the fifth fear.
That's
5th fear. I was hoping you would say that.
Fear of them all.
Brian doesn't know what he's talking about. He forgets he's on video recording. Oh, boy.
Rav Nachman says,
Should tell you.
that a person that's married, it doesn't have to be concerned about inappropriate thoughts when he's using the bathroom, because he has his wife. It's the rule of pas pasali. Pas pasali is that if you have bread in a basket, so you don't feel as hungry as if you don't have the bread in the basket. The bread in the basket means, yeah, I'll eat it later. I have it. I'm fine. It's not a problem.
For me, I'll feel even more hungry knowing that I could eat it. I'm not. Because it's like,
Some
it's like
people,
it's like your family with wait for it in front.
no, but people, they go to work. They don't eat the whole day. People go to work. They don't eat the whole day. They're busy. There's things that they forget. But then
Unless you work at home, which case you eat all.
but then on the fast day, when they know they can't eat, they're starving already at breakfast time. Say, what's going on? So no, because over there, yeah, you can eat. I'll eat a little later. I'll eat a little later. Biba Yasema, Kiha Eily. He was paskening like this. Dam Rabavo, Am Rabbi Yechanan. Rabavo says name of Rabbi Yechanan. Rabavo is the bold name right under Rabbi Yechanan. Rabavo was from Caesarea. Rabavo says name of Rabbi Yechanan. Gvul yesh me'atara ulamata. I'm sorry, I skipped the whole thing. No, I'm sorry. I skipped the line. That he wasn't actually holding the bris. He was holding. Guiding the urine from with support from the testicles beneath, which that was allowed. It could be that he paskin like this, that Rabbi says, name of Rabbi Yechanan, that if he doesn't hold the actual organ, but he holds it just from the top of the corona, so that's allowed, because over there, I guess the sensitivity.
Or the bottom. Simno Yodcha Tachas Yurechit. That's how they would affirm. Testamentary capacity. That's what it was. So obviously you could put your hands near there.
Right. So that was the first one. That was the first one. Avasaya Beitz Mamata.
Okay, but I'm saying we
The
had
second
to write
one-
into it.
Okay, interesting. The second one is Me'atara. From the
Where that comes from the word testament.
Yeah, they could put their hand there, right?
That's
What does your
what
lawyer say
On the
about
Ever
that?
himself, that's not true. On the Ever himself, they will touch. Because it's a
Look it
Brit
But he
Milah,
just said you can't hold the
but it's a Brit Milah, and it's old code.
Oh, that would be the second
Testament
one
of
that
the will
says you
and
could touch the part of the breast. No, either way, it's good.
That's what they did.
Whether you want to say it's
Calling
below.
out. He's gonna keep you honest. It's the long stuff around.
So that's just a challenge.
the only answer. Say Avram Avinu was relying on the answer that he was married.
What this means.
So Peter Vasalos, that's
I don't know. Okay. However, me'atar l'mayla aser, but the actual aver, the actual organ, that would be forbidden. Amar Rav. We are back in Bavel, in south in the Surah. It says, "Hamakashatz miladas yebenida." Someone that causes himself to have an erection, intentionally. So he's put in chayrim. Gemara asks, "V'leima aser?" Why doesn't he just say it's aser? It says no. It's worse than that. The kamagari yetzahara nafshay, because sometimes a person has a desire and he couldn't control himself. But here he doesn't even have any desire. He's giving himself a desire. So that's even worse. He's inciting the Yitzhahara on himself. Rabbi Ami Amar Nika Avarian. Rabbi Ami says that he's called a sinner. Shekachum Nasi Shal Yitzhahara, because this is the way of the Yitzhahara. Hayoim Amar like Asekach. Today he tells you to do this. This is common in Friedrich Rebbe's Memorim that he quotes. This he was always concerned with small things that people would, they cut corners here, cut corners there. You end up who knows where. So today he tells you to do this. It's not a big deal. It's only a small thing. And tomorrow he tells you, look, you already did that. You can do then one more thing. And and then on the third day he says, okay, go worship idols. Go and worship idols. And then he goes and worships. So Ikeda Amri, there are those that say Amar Rabami, that Rabami said, before he said Nikra Avarian. Now some say that Rabami said Kalamevi Atzma, the hearer, anyone that brings himself to improper thoughts, is not allowed to enter into the boundaries of Hashem. It says over here by Einan, Aaron Einan, it says that he was bad in the eyes of God, and he uses the word bad. You're not a God that desires wickedness, and no evil, no bad can dwell with you. Which means that this person that's called bad cannot be in the boundaries of Hashem. Now, Rabbi before said that he was as if Shefech Damim. Did he use the term? Over here it's Rabbi Ami, right?
Yeah.
Okay. V'amar Rabbi Lazar.
Here it says that the quote from the pasuk, not that he is bad, but what he did was bad. The thing is bad.
Yeah. Vayera. Oh, it was bad in the eyes of Hashem. Okay, and it was bad in the eyes of Hashem. Vayera. And it was bad. Okay.
Like it's not the person, it's the error.
Yeah, you have to look over there exactly, because the Hebrew doesn't have it's called a neuter pronoun, right? It only says he was bad. So you have to see from context if it means he or it. Okay.
Here's one. It's an obstacle course you have to drive around.
Okay. V'amar Rabbi Lazar says, what's the meaning of the pasuk Yidechem damim milu? Your hands are filled with blood. It says Elo hamenafim biyad. So this are people that use their hands for a sexual pleasure. Tana debei Rabbi Yishmael. It's taught in the yeshiva of Rabbi Yishmael. Leisinaf. Leisinaf usually means, it says in Aser Sedibris, don't commit adultery. It says leitei bach niyaf bein biyad bein beregel. Whether you should not have niyaf, which is whether with the hands or with the foot. Okay. Tana Rabbanan, it was taught in a brisa. Hagerim. This is converts from Masachkim B'tinaikas and people that play with children. That's the words. We'll see what that means in a moment. Ma'akvenes Mashiach, they delay Mashiach. Now, this has to be explained. This is Bishlei Megerim. Converts, we understand. K'der Rab Chelbai. Damar Rab Chelbai, I don't know I don't have a lot of background on Reb, but does it have over there?
It's a whole section.
Student of Rav Huna. He went to Eretz Yisrael. And he was by Rabbi Yochanan. And he's a student of Reb Shmuel Bar Nachmani. He had no children. And when he was sick, there was no one to visit him. So Rabbi Chelbe says, Koshem Gerim li Yisrael Kisapachas. It says that converts to the Jewish people are like leprosy. Now, what does this mean? So there's a famous quote from Avraham Agerd in the time of Tosfos that says that when someone converts, he becomes more stringent than everyone around him. When someone converts, he becomes more stringent. He has to keep all the laws. So it makes everyone else look bad. So that's the interpretation of Tosfos from Avraham Ager. It was one of the Baalei Tosfos was a convert. He said that interpretation. They had this joke. They say, how many Baalei Tshuva does it take to change a light bulb? So they're not sure if it's allowed. Sometimes when you're brought up with it, so we do this, we do that. But when you say no, it's something that you studied, so you keep it to exactly what it says, and everyone else looks bad. They're not keeping it exactly.
How many Lubavitches
Good
does
job.
it take to change a light bulb, 100 went to change the light bulb with 99 to vibrating.
Takeaway is you did a good driving test.
Okay. So, but the other commentaries here say that we're not talking about that. The other commentaries say that over here it's referring to converts that don't actually fulfill the mitzvahs. They converted, but they're not doing it properly. That's the other commentaries. They just got through the test. They didn't really fulfill it. Elamesach and betinoikus. What does it mean? People that play with children. Maihi Eily mishkav zachar. If it means sodomy, so b'nei skilin, that's a big sin. That's stoning. It must mean that it's not actually sodomy. They're just like pressing against the children. So that's b'nei mabel. That's another problem. That's what we learned from Rabbi Eliezer. Rather, what it means is that they're marrying young girls, the lav b'nai seludin, that are not able to give birth and not old and not mature enough. You follow? So what's the big deal? So what's happening is instead of them having children with regular aged women, they're marrying these young girls and they're not having children because they're too young to have children. And Mashiach can't come until all of the souls are taken out of the guf. The guf is a place in heaven that is a storage place for all the neshamas. So Mashiach will come when the world is populated with souls.
But the Torah permits this.
What is that?
The Torah permits
The
this.
Torah permits it, yeah.
Torah permits it, but you're not supposed to do it.
Just because it's mixed. What's the saying? As
Permits marrying girls
Young
who are
girls,
underage.
young girls. Those years, no?
That's McKenna.
Now, according to the Shulchan Aruch, there's no problem for a person to be with his wife, even though she's not going to be able to have children. It's no problem. That's not the issue. There must be another issue here that maybe doesn't have. If they had two wives, maybe he's not having children at all because of this. Because
It has more to do with the intention.
Yeah, but the act itself would be permitted. Let's say his wife is pregnant. She's not having a child. when she's not conceiving when she's pregnant. She's already conceived. But let's say she's older and she's not conceiving. It's according to Torah law, it's permitted. It's a regular natural act. Shenemar ki ruach malfanayatev v'neshamas yasisi. How do they translate that? For the spirit that enwraps itself is from me, and the souls that I have made, which means that the souls that are not born, they enwrap Mashiach and prevent him from coming.
Wow, that's scary.
Okay. I read in Lahavdil. I read in Rousseau, Jean-Jacques Rousseau was Jacques Rousseau was
The ocean guy.
I don't know that. No, this is a philosopher, French philosopher. So I read in one of his things that
French philosopher.
he's writing about the value of having children, and he said everyone knows that every child that you have pays for himself 4 times over because of the work that he does in the fields for you. So
I'm waiting. Wrong generation.
Tell that to me now.
okay.
They paid for themselves 4 times, but you paid for their tuition 10 times.
He was talking about the investment of having children, of how valuable, what a good investment it was because of the work in an agricultural, society, what you would get back from it.
You know what the numbers are? Kids go to public school, $400,000 in after-tax dollars to raise the kid to the age of 18.
Say that loud.
What does it cost?
Numbers are that in America, somebody has children, they go to public school. The cost to raise them is $400,000 in after-tax dollars.
Oh.
We're not talking about going to the LEC.
Right.
So, what are you talking, 600,000-700,000?
600.
I'm waiting.
How about 6, 7, 8 million?
To send them to the fields, to get some work done. And
Is that why I see a list on some refrigerators? Lawn mowing $5, washing machines $2.
okay, it says Banashim Tikatzitz. It says by a man, he's not supposed to examine himself to see if he's tummy. By a woman, yes. By a man, not. And the Mishnah said the hand should be cut off. The Gemara asks a surprising question. Iboilahu. He had a question. Dina Tanan? Is it saying the law that the Bezdin cuts off the hand? Or is it just giving a curse? Now, when we read the Mishnah, we read it as a curse. We didn't read it as like they're going to go and they're going to chop off the hand. So, but the Gemara explains, Dina Tanan, look at this. Look at this, what it's going to say. Doesn't mean it's the Dina ki hadar Ravuna katziyade, like Ravuna that cut off someone's hand. What was the person doing? He was hitting other people.
He says he just raised his hand.
He raised his hand to hit people, and Ravuna cut it off. They had a best, and they took.
This is symbolic or actual?
That was actual. So that's the source that they cut off the hand.
The word
To cut it means to cut off.
Wow.
Now there was a lady here. She's from Israel. The wife of one of the local rabbis, but she had jury duty and she didn't want to do it. So they asked her, "What would you say about someone that steals? What do you think they should do?" She says, "Look, I'm from the Middle East. We just cut off their hands." That works. Similar to it says kappa, but that over there we translate it as money.
Right.
It's okay.
No, there's no Romania.
And how many? Yeah.
They say the Jews can't serve on the jury because they keep on claiming that they're guilty. How could he do that? How could this be actual? He doesn't have the authority to do that.
Right. No, this is a huge a huge issue. I didn't go through it this time, but I remember looking in the back of the Ritva, the new Ritva from Mr. Rav Cook. I think the one that did the notes, I forget if it's David Metzger, but in the back of the Ritva Nidda, he has an essay on this. Like, if the Bezdin has the power to do something like this, just just to show something, or not in the rule books, but if the Bezdin can actually do something like a fine and
Sure, there's a difference between a fine and
cutting off his hand.
Misa.
Right.
Or
In the Israeli Pledge of Allegiance, which I know people don't say,
Right.
that may right hand be forgotten. I mean, people who lose their hand, they have phantom pain. I mean, it's not
Right.
there. So it could just be not physical. It
Yeah,
should
but the
be. as
Gemara's
if it was.
question here is
This
that
was a
is it
case.
physical, like Rav Huna did, that he cut off his hand? Eily Tusitanan, or was it a
I don't
curse?
think he did.
Tashima, we have to see. Let's come and listen. The Tanya, who started in a Bais, Reb Tarfon Eimer, Reb Tarfon says, Yad lama tikatzitz. It says, tikatzitz yadei al tabure. Someone puts his hand on his bris milah, so you should cut off the hand when it's on his stomach, his navel, his belly button. Amrulai, skip the parentheses. Balei kresin of kas, but they're gonna kill him. Stomach is gonna be chopped open. Amalehem mutav tibaka kreisiv al yer leber shachas. It's better that he stomach should burst, but he shouldn't go down to Gehenna.